So now we've got a voiceover with a voiceover. All these voiceovers, most of them we recorded at the time, saying to ourselves we would dub them later, but she did them so well that we just used the ones that we did wild. And that crunch, of course, is dubbed. Toast doesn't make that much noise. So somebody goes off into a little stems, I think they're called. He goes in a little room and crunches something, and we stick it on. Foley.
Foley's the word.
Foley. Thank you, Aaron.
But here's an interesting thing about Hong Kong martial arts films is that they used to make the sounds of punches and feet going into faces by hitting, you know, cabbages and chopping broccoli and all that sort of thing. And then they got the Foley machines, and they got ways of doing it much more authentically. But the audience didn't like it. They got so used to. They want the cricket bat and the cabbage.
Well, certainly our Foley and dubbing team, who were fantastic, but they did favour a big effect. I mean, if they, as I say, with that turd, if they could have had a.
Well, if you paid for the machine.
If you pay for the machine, I mean, originally it sounded like you were crunching a slice of concrete, actually.
Yeah,
but no, as they say, we offer it up, and as he said to me always, you can use it, Ben, or you can lose it. That was his phrase, use it or lose it. And we used to just turn it down a bit. That's what we did.
Yeah.
This is one of my favourites.
But that doesn't rhyme, of course. You can use it or you can turn it down a bit. But Ben.
That's true. It wouldn't be quite.
Yeah, it's not quite as snappy, is it?
Doesn't trip off the tongue.
No.
But well done to all at Shepperton again. That scene I love, because I think that sort of battle gets played out many times between men and women. A basic lack of understanding between the sexes, which is a source of much good comedy. And I hope that is good comedy.
That's quite bad comedy too. But
Yes,
we
that's
hope
true.
that, you know.
I remember watching. I hope I'm not giving anything away when I remember Jolie saying to me, "Oh, do you think my arms will wobble, you know, in this?" And of course they don't.
Did she say that?
Yeah, she said, "No, for heaven's sake, no." You look
I said
incredible."
the same to you about my arse, didn't I?
Yes, and your arse did
Yeah.
wobble, but
Yeah.
Jolie, of course, takes more care of herself than you do, Hugh.
And it shows.
It certainly does. Oh, this is look, we shouldn't be waffling. This is the point when a movie starts to get serious. This is,
Oh, hell.
I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, you might be interested to know, this is sort of, I sort of understand this, because my wife and I had a very long journey of fertility, and, you know, that point comes when you have to sort of decide to put yourself in the hands of the medical profession, which is a pretty depressing time, particularly for these two, because it turned out the medical profession was Rowan Atkinson and Dawn French, but that's skipping ahead a bit. This whole set, their beautiful flat, was constructed at Shepperton on a soundstage, and I think it was. We decided to do it on a set rather than on a location because, in the long run, I suppose sensitive scenes and things probably easier when you haven't got somebody coming in and saying our electricity is being used. Because if you go on a location, you've always got to deal with neighbours and people worrying about the electricity and noise, etc. Whereas if you go on a soundstage at Shepperton, you just have to worry about the catering. And believe me, that's a problem in itself.
How did you know?
Americans don't understand the word wanker, so that goes for nothing.
Don't they?
No. Goes for absolutely nothing.
They've got an awful long way to go.
You think Spinal Tap had never been
It's a
made,
young
wouldn't you?
country.
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
And what's more, is a godsend antidote to all the rubbish your department normally commissions.
Now listen to Colin Towns' beautiful scoring here, because he just accentuates a look.
Because I thought his idea was crap.
At the end of the, because as I'm sure you're aware, after the movie's made, somebody has to score it and put the music on. And I thought Colin did a fabulous job with all of this. And watch this, that girl, the ginger-haired girl, just listen to the clinking, just as the girl sort of looks at him sneeringly. I mean, you know, it's a small thing. I'm not saying it's an Oscar-winning moment, but, you know, the movies, as indeed all movies, are full of a lot of care taken by a vast team. See, that little fling, just as her eyebrows raised. I love that. And many other moments.
I think I might even lose my job.
Again, shot over about 3 different days.
Yeah, why was that? Terrible rain, yeah.
Terrible rain, terrible place. There's
Also, we were shooting in I seem to remember we were shooting in a square that had been completely quiet when the location manager first saw it. But then there was a scaffolding crew there on the day. Do you remember who were lobbing
and also,
scaffolding poles into a truck all day long?
Absolutely, and it's a rule of air traffic control that each morning the people at Heathrow ring up a Central Information Bureau and say what poor sod is making a film today. And they say, oh, so-and-so's doing one, and, you know, on the South Downs, and Ben Elton will be in some square in London, etc. And they just say, right, well, we'll just reroute all the air traffic over all those locations for the entire day. And so this incredibly difficult and sensitive scene between these two wonderful actors was punctuated and broken up by the never-ending, sorry, aeroplane. And
It's worth bearing in mind the next time you go on holiday, actually, because statistically, it is a near certainty that when you fly off to some distant sunny isle, you are going over probably not less than 5 film locations where somebody is either trying to get the microfilm or battle with a dinosaur or something, and 60 people have to look up and go, aeroplane.
I know. It just every time when you're on a plane, know that you are hated. You are hated by actors and technicians on the
In
ground.
spite of your many fine qualities.
Exactly. We wish you well on your holidays, but just
have a
don't
great
know.
holiday.
It really is. The problem, I have to say, I think probably aeroplanes are the greatest single problem of location filming. I mean, well, and weather, obviously, but it's anyway, the sun was so sporadic this day, you won't see it, but I mean, most of my takes, there's none of that dappling in the background. It's constantly you do a take and the actor is bathed in darkness because halfway through the take, a cloud has gone over the sun, all the lighting doesn't work, then you relight because the sun's gone in, at which point the sun comes out again, which obviously is the law known as SOD.
Why should you?
And I don't know if anyone's interested in the sort of okay, hello side of this commentary, but this was the day my babies were born.
God, so it was.
Yes.
So
Actually,
it
it
was.
wasn't this. It wasn't this take. It was. I'll show you that it was
The other
same
scene,
location. It
but
was the other
this
scene, yes.
day.
And I shall reveal. There are moments in that.
And
what
how
we
old are they
just
now?
watched. They're 15, 16 months old.
Quite a
twins,
thought, isn't it?
born prematurely. There were moments in that take that Hugh directed, and there'll be moments the next time we're in the park, because I had to rush off to hospital, and I said, oh, you can do it, it's just,
Yeah.
he's telling me what to do anyway, and he did.
And
Probably you don't want to claim any credit for this, because
It went a little bit smoother, actually.
yes, it probably did.